everyone, today we will be looking at our assignment 2 for operational excellence and transformation. So, this is the subject in semester 3 for your course ITBA. So, for this subject, I found that the assignments are quite hard to understand first, but it's easy to do. So, firstly, what I will do, I will explain this assignment in detail, and then I will also share all my resources in the description of the video and also a sample that I made and I will be explaining in the video. So I will just share everything in the description so that you can use that as a reference to make your assignment. Okay, so let's have a look at our assignment first. So in part 1, it says we have a case study that is given in your e-text. We have to study that. That's just like a short paragraph, and then we have to analyze why the management failed in strategic planning and also what are the core values and concepts that are followed and not followed according to the Balrich Award. That is a concept that you may have discussed so far in your course. So let me show you the case study. So it's just like a simple paragraph and it's enough to actually analyze that. So based upon my analysis, that's what I was able to find it. Don't worry, I will just share that in the description. So these are the main findings that I found over here. So I'm not going to explain that because it's going to be like quite boring in that case. So I will just share the link for this talk. Now, let's have a look at our part 2. They have given a case study with our assignment docs, so we need to study that. That's a fictional bank named as Tri-State National Bank, and we just need to go to the specific parts of the document, and based on that, we will make our Hoshin Kanri matrix. They also given a template with the documents, but I'm gonna use another template that I downloaded from internet, so I will share that link as well, and also I will share the template, empty template. In that case you will not able to download it due to some issues, so I will share that too. So for the relevant section in that case study, so if you look at this case study, it's gonna be like long one. So what I did, just to make your things simple, what I made, so I made a summary document which says everything that you need for this assignment. So this is just a summary, and then they have their mission to provide customers with financial services and promote the growth and economic well-being of all the communities that we serve. That's their mission statement. And their vision is to be recognized as number one community bank in legendary service, and their values. So you can see their list and their core competencies. That's like their core strengths, strategic challenges that they are facing, and also the strategic advantages that they have. That's all I referenced it from the case study that is given. Nothing is added from my end, and some of the things I just did the screenshots, like just to make a better look of it, because the tables, that's the best way to understand that. Then they also asked us to reference to the KPIs and the community initiatives that they are doing currently, and then they have their strategic planning process. Let's have a look at it. So if you see over here, so like they have different phases over here, how that flows, and then they also have their strategic plan sustain scenario. So there they have like different sets of steps and the different sectors, how they are all integrated. So that's also that they told us to refer. So I already did everything in the summary document, so you can refer that if you don't want to like be confused with everything. Now let's go to our Hoshin Kanri. So So in Hoshin Kanri, so there are main segments that needs to be taken care for any company. For that, you're making this matrix is annual objectives. That's like yearly goals, then long-term goals, key performance indicators, priorities, and activities. So for annual object, you can mainly focus on their mission statement. So if you have a look over here, so they want to become number one community bank in legendary service. So that's also they want to do like that's one of the annual objective. They want to implement legendary service as a means to achieve customer satisfaction leadership. So if we refer over here, so that's one of the objectives that they want to serve so that they can go from their mission to vision. Okay. And then they have be recognized as financial services employer of choice to attract and retain talent. So all these things you can find it if you really study uh, their core values and their core competencies, so that you can get an idea. So like we need to analyze for annual objectives, you need to look at what the things that they are doing currently. So for the current things, you can have a look over your community initiatives, key performance indicators, as well as their advantages, so that they can use all those things together and they have a objective so that they can fulfill it. Because for the annual objectives, it's the current things that they can do with the present workforce and the resources that they have. So that's how the annual objectives needs to be as realistic to the current resources that they have. And if we focus on long term goals, that's more like related to this, but in a long term vision, right? For example, if they want to implement a legendary service, right? So then they need to maintain and strengthen a culture where they can sell multiple products with customers, so that like annually they can increase 10%. So from this is directly connected. So like that you need to think. Okay, and also like in banking there are lots of rules and regulations that you need to follow. So their objective should be like stay informed about new regulations and in the long term, so that they can foster continuous innovation and all regulatory compliance, so that they don't get any financial consequences if they're not meeting any regulations that are there in the industry. And for priorities and activities, the main two things that you can focus on is this process over here, and also this document, the strategic plan, and this mm, you can get an idea what are the current activities that they're doing. And you can also refer to community initiatives, because if you want to include anything that is annual objectives as well as long term goals of the company, so they have lots of initiatives that are currently going, that can be social, economic, right? So that's how you can think of going for these. So I also mentioned couple of them. So this drive your operational excellence project for VOC process, voice of customers, that's one of the process they have explained in strategic planning process. Like if you have a look over here, that's MNO factor watch, right? So I also mentioned this. in there. So that's how you need to think and use that information. Over the key performance indicators. So, the key performance indicators are the measures how we are progressing towards our annual objectives and long term goals. So, you need to think like that, and you can get an idea from their key performance indicators like code of conduct. So, like how they're analyzing all those processes. Okay, so you can get an idea from here, but you need to make it related to your annual objectives and long term goals. For example, if I say achieve a 10% increase in cross selling effectiveness, so that's directly linked with maintain and strengthen a sales oriented culture, right? So that's how you need to think, and make sure you have some numbers in your key in performance indicators, because that's a measurement. So you need to include the numbers. And then I have different roles. So executive management, division heads, IT team, and associates for my Hoshin Kanri. So most of them you will find it over here in strategic plan. There you can see what are the people who are involved in that, and also from strategic planning process, like they have EMC, marketing team, so how all these processes are going for. So these two, like strategic planning process and your strategic plan, so these two things you need to thoroughly go through it, understand it, then you will be able to build really strong Hoshin Kanri. Okay. And for the relations, it's primary and secondary relations. So, for example, as I already explained the relationship, right? So, the things that you feel like they're directly related with each of the quadrant. Like for this case, annual objectives needs to be aligned with long-term goals. And then these are the annual objectives. How these current activities are related with that. Is that directly related? Then you need to give this symbol. If indirectly related somewhat, so then you have to give this as a secondary relation. So this is primary relation and this is secondary correlation. Okay. And for um, key performance indicators and the activities, so you need to see, okay, these are directly related. If I measure this activity, I will be working on analyzing this key performance indicator. Okay. And for roles and responsibilities, so like there are a number of activities. Some of them are like specifically mentioned in the section that they told us to refer, that okay, this is a person or committee that will be responsible for doing that activity, so you can refer that. So in this case you just have the primary relationship, because we will be indicating only the primary doers for these tasks, because otherwise it will be like complicated, because like in every activity there are people who are involved directly and indirectly, but to make it simple we are just showing the direct responsible person or the committees for our activities. And that's how you build that. And let me know if you have any questions. Okay, thank you.